Now, Ashely, I want to talk about your playing career specifically for the Three Lions. You played in 3 World Cups. You played against the U.S. in the 2010 World Cup, and that was a 1-1 draw, so you didn't beat us. So we're happy about that. You know what? Thank Rob Green for us for pushing that ball into the net. That's really nice.
Why do you have to move? Just the guy he made a mistake.
He made a mistake. He made a mistake. All right, it's fine. It's fine. But what I marvel about is how the English players have to manage the pressure and expectations from the English media and the public, not just World Cup after World Cup, like game after game after game. I mean, there's a certain standard that the fans and the media want to see. And I feel like we're starting to evolve over here in the States, where we're putting the same type of pressure on our team, especially because we're hosting the World Cup next summer. Do you have any insights or how the players should be trying to manage that? Because they're trying to hit back at us a little bit with some comments. Not just us. We're nice. We're really nice, Ashely. It's not us as pundits. It's all the other shows and people that are criticizing. But is there something that you did as a group or individually to kind of manage that so you could go out there and perform at your highest level?
Yeah, I think it's a really difficult one. Of course, you watch the US national team way more than what I do. And you have the advantage to see how these guys are performing for their clubs, week in, week out. They're top players playing all over Europe. I think maybe the most players playing in Europe in many, many years. So, of course, as players, we certainly understand that there is an expectation on how we perform. And with privilege that you have as a football player, there has to come a little bit of accountability on your own performance and as a group. I played in you call it a so-called golden generation, and we can never get it over the line. And, to this day, we still get reminded of that. And we have to accept that with the players that we had, the level that we was playing at, we just couldn't get over the line. And we have to take that on the chin, and that's going to live with us.
Why is that, do you think, looking back?
Look, I spoke about it before. I always feel is a mix, right? Maybe I still don't agree that it was about egos. I never felt there was a lot of egos in our team and in our group. I love being around all of them, to be honest. But maybe was we managed well? And again, what I mean by that is, was the pressure from the fans and the media, the fine line between winning and making people happy? Because again, working in the coaching industry now and understanding when we played with the England senior team, it's not always about the best players on the pitch at the same time. And I stick by that. I really stick by that, because sometimes it's very hard to be selfless, right? When you've got Steven Gerrard, a Frank Lampard, a Paul Scholes, a David Beckham, Owen Hargreaves. We have Michael Carrick, so many talented players in that midfield area. But
you got to find the right chemistry.
There you go. Did we have the right balance? Did we have the right chemistry? Did we have the right formula to win? In my opinion, and seeing it now from the other side and understanding it's not about all the best players on the pitch at the same time, maybe it don't work. And it's a lot for a coach or a manager to take, because there is a lot of external pressure and noise to pick the so-called best names. But when you're putting 22 players together and they all are top players in their own right for their clubs, sometimes you got to take that brave decision to go, you might have to sit out. You might have to sit out. And that takes bravery from a coach and a manager. And it is hard. It is really, really hard. But as I said, we have to be accountable as players. And don't get me wrong, I remember when I was getting criticised, I'm like, who is this pundit? I'm not having him. What's he saying? You know what I mean? That's the natural. That's just the animal inside you.
Charlie Davies. His name is Charlie Davies.
Hey, no, it's Jimmy Evil Conrad. Jimmy Evil Conrad.
But no, when I look back now, it's like, do you know what? Like, when you're in this profession, you're there to be fired at, and you have to take it.
Yeah.
But now, again, with social media, a lot of players use it to their advantage, and now they're using it also to their advantage to go against pundits and influential players or ex-players. So Look, I think there's a balance with me if I'm ever speaking about or to young generation players or being a pundit on a game, I try not to be negative. I try to be constructive in what I say. I try to leave little nuggets where I'm trying to help them going forward. But Charlie, I've seen you. You're a little bit too harsh, mate.
He is. Thank you for noting that.
Hey,
No, I'm joking.
Actually,
I'm joking.
you might come on at the perfect time because we're going through this struggle here with Pochettino, and everyone wants all the names. And the three of us keep saying, man, when the roster comes out, it might not be all the names, right, that you want to see on there. He has to pick the best team, and that's what you got to do. My question is here, your time in America, like, did you learn anything here? Is there anything that you were like, I like what these guys do? Or is there the other things you're like, oh, man, I would never have my guys do some of this stuff? Whether it's you played for Bruce, right? You played for Ziggy,
Yes.
I think, right? Yeah. Well, so two really well-respected coaches, obviously, in the U.S., and maybe from a playing standpoint, what you saw in your time in the league that might help you now in your coaching journey.
Yeah, Bruce and Ziggy were top. I think how they helped me kind of transition. Yes, I was playing, European football, Champions League football, but I didn't understand the landscape of the MLS. Everything was new to me. Again, yes, I knew some ex-teammates that also played in America and in LA Galaxy. So I knew Robbie Keane and Steven Gerrard and Gio De Santos. But yeah, it was hard for me to come over. I didn't understand how hard the travel was, how demanding the league actually was. It was very physical. The weather was super hot, and I wasn't used to that. And I think Bruce and Ziggy understood that, and ushered me into the game time and my minutes a little bit slower than what I wanted, but with an understanding. They were very old school in the way they coached, but top guys. When we talk about the Arsene Wengers of man management and the Carlo Ancelottis, Bruce and Ziggy was brilliant in putting people and players together and creating a great environment to be in. And again, the league was very tough for me. I came at maybe 34, 35, maybe even older. And physically, I had to really get up to speed very fast because the technical aspect was there, but the physical aspect, maybe I doubted. And, I was shocked. I remember playing against Alphonso Davies at such a young age. And I'm like, wow, I can't compete with these young guys with this, high level speed in this heat. I had to find a way to play a little bit different and understand the league, respect the league, and understand that it's totally different to Europe. And yeah, I really loved it there. I understood the landscape. I enjoyed my time over there. I enjoyed the fans. I enjoyed my teammates, and had so much fun over there.
Would you ever consider coaching in MLS? Is that a possibility?
Yes, I think me and my agent
do we need to make some calls? Because we know a couple teams that are struggling right now, Ashely Cole.
Hey, struggle bus. Hey, New England, we're in the coaching search right now.
We should also mention we've had Jesse Marsh, who was a co-host on our show. He got the Canada job. We had Benny Feilhaber, who was helping us out. He got the Oakland Roots job. Like this show gets people coaching jobs. So if you're looking for something over here in the
States, it'll cost you though, Ashely. This guy, he's expensive, man. He's expensive.
I'm just saying.
You came to Boston with Roma for that friendly at Fenway. You saw how the people absolutely love the sport in this city, incredible city. I know you'd be welcome. So if you need me to put in a little call to the press, I can do that. But I mean, surely there's going to be suitors for you because of your experience, both 100%. Not only as a player, but as a manager. You've won a damn trophy in European competition, international football. You've coached with some of the biggest names in football. So I would assume that your phone's going to be ringing.
Yeah, no, I've had a lot of conversations with my agent and clubs, a few in the MLS, a few over Europe. And I think I think now certainly is the time that I'm ready to stand up and lead and be the number one. Of course, I have that self-confidence to do that. But I think it has to be right. You know, I want to be able to work on a daily basis with, you know, the youth, the new generation, but also senior players. I also want to, you know, have a chance to win. So I think, you know, all the factors have to be right. But yeah, I'm certainly on the lookout, and we'll see what comes up. And yeah, if you've got any numbers, mate, put me in.
We might have some leads.
All right, so okay, so you're here. Jimmy's the owner of the club. I'm the technical director. Charlie's he's the trainer. You got to sell your club to us now. Hey, Ashely, okay, we're interested. Tell me how you want to play. What does if you have all your players, what does the picture look like in your head on Ashely Cole style?
Okay, 4-2-3-1, control, dominate, and attack. Very adaptable in the way we play. You know, whatever opponent we're up against will be very adaptable and interchangeable. Yes, we're saying it's a 4-2-3-1, but whether the 10 drops down and we play a single pivot, or we have 2 high 8s and 1 6, it all depends on the opponent and where the space is and where we want to, you know, kill and be really effective in the way we play. Certainly going to build and play out from the back, because I want to attract teams onto us so we can show our great footballing style and play through lines, but also understand that we want to attack and kill behind. Penetration, runs, enthusiasm, intensity, high press, win the ball back high up, control the game, sustain attacks, you know, a little bit of that.
I love how you're sticking with the 4 back, because, hey, you're a true left back. That's what your position is. But it feels like, especially with the U.S. men's national team, that we're now seeing a back 3 and you're playing with wing backs. Maybe it's a 3-4-2-1, a 3-4-3. How have you seen the left back position change and evolve since you've left it? Because it feels like the left backs, the left wing backs are asked to do much more coming into the midfield. Are you a fan of that? Or do you still think you can get much more out of the traditional left back?
No, like I said, it depends on the profile of the fullback or the 6 or the centre half. You know, I think the 3, I understand why people build in a 3, because it gives you a little bit more control. It gives you the 3 plus a 2. It gives you width and height and depth. But in terms of the way USA want to play, you're saying, are they playing the 5 at the back?
They did for the first time last game against Japan,
and we look good.
And it looked good for the first time. Before that, it was rough. And I want to throw in the caveat: we didn't have Anthony Robinson for a majority of that time. The first couple of games that Pochettino had Anthony Robinson, it looked pretty damn good against Jamaica. Then when he left, it hasn't been the same. So,
Antonio, talking about left backs, he just gives you a different dimension, right? How to play. I think, you know, watching him over the past seasons at Fulham, he's certainly one of their best players due to the fact that he covers that whole left side alone. He's robust. He can, you know, physically strong. He's got a good delivery from bylines. He can play in most areas of the pitch. He can defend well. He defends the back post well. So I can see why he's influential in the way Fulham play. But in terms of the way USA play, yes, you know, when you miss a key player like that for your national team, it does hinder. But again, as I mentioned, you have to find ways. You have to find a different personnel or a different player to fill in. And you have to adjust. Whether you don't have a left wing back who can bomb up and down like Antonio, you have to find a way. Whether you build and use the right wing back in a different way and you make him the focal point of the team, or whether it's one of your 6s or one midfielder that drops out and plays from the side. There's loads of ways to fill the gaps for players that you miss, but you certainly have to find a way and a style and a formation that fits and suits obviously the majority of your players, or it don't work.
All right, Ashely, 2 quick questions for you. One is tradition and one I'm just curious before we let you go, and we appreciate your time. The first one is, who is the best American player that you ever played against?
Oh, I'm going to have to say Clint Dempsey. He's
You ever catch an elbow? You ever catch an elbow
yes.
from him?
Yeah. And I got the watch out, dog. I got that one as well.
That's part of the charm. I love that.
Exactly. But no, he was a great character. I think, you know, when you talk about leadership and being robust and physically strong, mentally I'd boot him all over the place, and he took it. He stood up to it, and you know, that was our mentality back then, and that was, you know, our kind of culture that we was up against. So I would have to say Clint Dempsey.
All right, that's a good shout. And then lastly, This is tradition. What's your best jersey swap in your career? A player that you always wanted, you had the opportunity to play against them, you got to maybe swap their jersey, maybe they waved you off. I don't know.
Did you ever get waved off, by the way? Did you ever go for a jersey and the guy's like, go inside?
Because Jimmy's been waved off.
Yeah,
by Riquelme. Listen, it's a pretty big name. Riquelme waved me off in Copa America. That's a big name. Yeah.
That's a bit. Did you put your head down and just walk past?
Yeah, I asked him. He didn't even make eye contact with me, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm just gonna keep walking.
No, I've been lucky. I don't even want to show off, but
no, we want you to show off. Just pretend the cameras aren't there. It's just us four.
Okay.
Chatting here.
I think it has to be Ronaldo.
Brazilian Ronaldo or
R9?
Cristiano?
No. I think I humbled myself. I didn't go for R9.
Okay.
I went for Cafu on that game. So
fair.
That's
a good one. Yeah.
Did you get Cafu?
I got Cafu.
What a jersey! What a player!
That's
flexing. He's flexing now. He's flexing.
So Cristiano, you swapped.
I swapped with Cristiano. Yeah.